lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie, right. Andrew Burnap. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
I say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that
she's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Disney's Snow White remake was supposed to be a modern take on a beloved classic, but instead it became one of the most controversial movies in Disney's history. Fans are outraged, critics are skeptical, and Rachel Zegler, the actress playing Snow White, has found herself at the center of a PR disaster. So what went wrong? And could Disney really be regretting their decision to cast her? Let's break it all down. Before we dive into how things started unraveling, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're into deep dives like this. We break down the biggest stories in entertainment without the fluff, just facts, receipts, and a bit of chaos. And trust me, you're gonna want to see how this one ends. Few Disney projects have generated as much controversy before release as the upcoming Snow White remake.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
What started as another live-action adaptation of a beloved classic has spiraled into a PR nightmare, with star Rachel Zegler at the center of a storm that has Disney executives scrambling behind closed doors. The growing tension between preserving the magic of the original and creating something for a new generation has turned this fairy tale production into something much darker. When Disney announced Rachel Zegler as their new Snow White, it seemed like perfect casting. Fresh off her breakthrough role in Spielberg's West Side Story, the young actress represented exactly what Disney claimed to want: new talent who could bring fresh energy to their classic characters. Fans were cautiously optimistic, and industry insiders praised Disney for the diverse casting choice. Zegler's powerful singing voice and dramatic talents made her seem ideal for reimagining the first Disney princess for modern audiences. But beneath the surface, tensions were already brewing about how much reimagining should actually happen with such an iconic character. Some fans argued that casting Zegler, who is Latina, ignored this major aspect of the fairy tale.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious.
Others felt it was yet another example of Disney making unnecessary changes to its classics to fit a more modern, politically correct agenda. But casting changes happen all the time in Hollywood, and this kind of backlash could have died down, if not for what happened next. Instead of winning over skeptics with her enthusiasm for the role, Zegler unintentionally made things worse. She criticized the original Snow White film, calling it weird and outdated. She dismissed the love story entirely, saying, "She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love." Instead, she described the new version of Snow White as a strong, independent leader. Then came the interviews that changed everything. During press appearances, Zegler made several comments about the original 1937 Snow White that immediately sparked backlash. She described the classic as extremely dated and criticized the original story's focus on Snow White finding love with the prince. "It's no longer 1937, Zegler said in one interview. "She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love." She added that her version would be focused on becoming the leader she knows she can be. These statements, while perhaps intended to highlight the film's modern approach, struck many Disney purists as dismissive of the beloved original. Social media exploded with criticism, with fans questioning why someone who seemingly disliked the source material would accept the role in the first place. The backlash grew even worse when clips surfaced of Zegler saying she never even liked Snow White growing up. In one interview, she joked about only taking the role because it paid well. This rubbed many people the wrong way.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
Playing a Disney princess is usually a dream come true for actors, a role that comes with prestige and legacy. But instead of excitement or gratitude, Zegler came across as dismissive, almost annoyed that she had to be associated with the character at all. Behind the scenes, Disney executives were reportedly blindsided by the intensity of the backlash. What should have been standard promotional interviews had turned into a marketing disaster that threatened the film's success before a single trailer had even dropped. Sources close to the production claimed that emergency meetings were called to reassess the film's marketing strategy. There were even unconfirmed rumors that portions of the film might need to be res-hot to better align with the original's spirit after seeing the passionate reaction from fans. Controversy came at a particularly bad time for Disney, which was already dealing with disappointing box office returns from several recent remakes that had deviated too far from their source material. In the original story, the seven dwarfs are essential characters, each with their own unique personality. They provide comic relief, emotional depth, and play a major role in Snow White's journey. But in this new version, Disney decided to replace them with a diverse group of characters of different heights, genders, and ethnicities. The decision was meant to modernize the story and avoid stereotypes, but it quickly backfired. Even Game of Thrones actor Peter Dinklage, who has dwarfism, called out Disney, saying, "You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that backwards story about seven dwarfs living in a cave together?" His criticism put Disney in an impossible situation. They kept the dwarfs, they would be accused of being insensitive. They replaced them, they would be accused of erasing roles for actors with dwarfism. In the end, they chose the second option, but instead of resolving the controversy, it only made things worse. The financial stakes couldn't be higher for Disney. With a reported budget of over $200 million, Snow White represents one of their most expensive live-action adaptations to date. Early projections had suggested the film could follow in the footsteps of successes like The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast, each of which grossed over $1 billion worldwide. But as the controversy grew, analysts began revising those projections downward. Disney shareholders were reportedly concerned, with some questioning the studio's approach to their most valuable intellectual property. Company's stock price even took a minor hit as investors worried about whether the Snow White remake would connect with its intended audience. What had started as a single controversy soon exploded into a full-blown PR disaster. Mainstream news outlets picked up the story, and the narrative shifted from a simple casting choice to a broader cultural debate about modernizing classics.
You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that f***ing backward story of seven dwarves living in a cave.
Conservative commentators accused Disney of going woke, while others defended Zegler and the studio's right to reinterpret the material for contemporary audiences. Disney's PR team struggled to regain control of the narrative as clips of Zegler's comments continued to circulate online, often stripped of context and used to fuel further outrage. The studio faced the impossible task of reassuring traditional fans while not undermining their star or appearing to backtrack on their creative vision. Industry insiders claim that behind closed doors, Disney executives held emergency strategy sessions to address the mounting crisis. The relationship between Zegler and the studio reportedly became strained, with the actress bound by contractual obligations limiting what she could say publicly about the controversy. Disney allegedly instructed her to avoid further interviews about the original film and to focus only on positive aspects of her character. Meanwhile, the marketing team was scrambling to reframe the messaging around the film, emphasizing its connections to the beloved original rather than its departures. There were even whispers that certain scenes might be edited to better align with fans' expectations, though such rumors remain unconfirmed. With the release date still months away, questions remain about how Disney will navigate this unexpected turbulence.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
Getting on across. Hold on. Here. Hold on.
All right. Congrats, Rachel.
The studio faces difficult decisions about whether to delay the film, adjust their marketing approach, or simply weather the storm in hopes that the controversy will fade once audiences actually see the final product. For Zegler, the situation has placed her in an uncomfortable position early in her promising career. Industry analysts are divided on whether the controversy will actually impact ticket sales or if it's simply noise from a vocal minority of fans. What's clear is that Disney is watching closely, as the reception to Snow White could influence their approach to other upcoming live-action remakes currently in development. The Snow White controversy ultimately raises bigger questions about the challenges studios face when revisiting beloved classics. How do you honor nostalgia while still creating something relevant for today's audiences? In an era where streaming services compete for viewers' attention and social media can amplify outrage, the margin for error seems increasingly slim. Whether this controversy defines Disney's Snow White remake or becomes a forgotten footnote depends largely on the quality of the final film. But one thing is certain: when it comes to beloved childhood memories, audiences aren't always ready to let go of the versions they grew up with, even when promised something new. In the battle between tradition and innovation, Disney has learned that even the fairest one of all isn't immune to criticism. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping Hollywood revelations. You won't want to miss what's coming next.